procurement and supply industry has faced unprecedented challenges in recent times, and to an extent this has set back the industry. This also has resulted in the industry and the profession becoming a bit lackluster. To this end, it was critical to deliver an event that seeks to advance the agenda of the profession. As CIPS, we continuously advocate for action that has the potential to change the course of our amazing profession.
In the new world, it's not the big fish which eats the small fish. It's the fast fish which eats the slow fish. Do you have adaptability? Can you adapt to this changing context?
Embrace tech. Don't become it. Tech is the how. We need to be very clear and thoughtful around why. So what's appropriate for us, what's appropriate for our organization, our organizational culture, where we are in our maturity curve.
There's a lot of challenges facing procurement and whether procurement will still remain relevant in the future. So as a procurement expert, what we need to do is we need to be able to do proper situational analysis, not only of our companies, but also as the profession, and see what the challenges are coming our way, like digitization, like global supplies, like staying cost competitive, bringing more value into the company. So for me, it is that whole mix of the relevance of procurement.
Cost savings are just not enough, and yet we still want to drop back into the language of we can save you some money, instead of talking about the value that we create, the agility in the supply chains and so on and so forth.
The assumption with some of the organizations that we've worked with is that all young people want to be the next CEO. So people will tell them to wait their turn. But actually, some of them don't. Some of these young people, maybe they're a photographer during the weekend. Can you create a holistic view of who the young person is?
So in the South African context, we have what we call Proudly South African. It's a buy local campaign. And basically it's to educate those in the public sector, those in the private sector, ordinary consumers, on the importance of buying local as well as the economic impact thereof.
We always question ourselves about what is coming to change our profession and how can we make ourselves ready for this disruptive thing that is coming. So I really enjoy the discussion around that, and also preparing ourselves, our minds as well, and trying to get new skills into supply chain, not just the people that we are familiar with.
Supply chain management and procurement function within our organizations really need to take that strategic, I would say, posture within the organization. Just from the way we behave and from the value that we bring within the organization, then the board will realize that we need procurement as a partner.
There is a convergence and a confluence of so many factors and forces that really puts the onus on us, the obligation for us is significant as procurement practitioners. This is a moment where we can protect value and create value.
I think stakeholder management was such a powerful piece, because if you're not engaged with the people you serve within the organization, you've lost the plot. So the ability to hone in and listen more so that you can nail it when you do provide the service, and most importantly beyond that, being able to be seen as somebody who delivers, who's credible, who's knowledgeable, is so important.
What we need to be talking more about is policy differences, and also, I would say, legislative challenges that affect, again, the two divides that I'm talking about. Because I think the public sector is much more regulated and kind of bureaucratic in how it operates, versus perhaps the private sector, which is more liberal.
What's been interesting for me from today is just the way that the same challenges that people in South Africa are facing are the same that everywhere in the world they're facing. The issues of whether or not you can balance saving money with adding value. But I think this challenge of risk is probably the key one. The risks associated with the global supply chain, the risks associated with currency, the need to really drive a different agenda than procurement has done before.
Procurement and supply as a function should engage with the business and how we can bring real value. But that value is increasingly not just about price. It is about managing risk. And whether that risk is about supply chain risk, whether that risk is about reputational risk, whether that risk is about sustainability. It's about ensuring that we've got the right skills and the right processes, the right practices, the right people to manage that risk. And for CIPS, our role is to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help enhance those professionals, so that they've got the right skills, so that the right standards are being put in place, and then we're continuing to find ways of raising standards.